Hey there, I hope you're doing great. Today, we shall deep dive on one of the agile flavor called Scrum. Scrum had its evolution through software development needs. Its ideology is used to solve complex problems while delivering valuable products. Scrum is a lightweight framework that helps people, team, and organizations generate value through adaptive solutions for complex problems. Now let us see what is Scrum. Scrum is a methodology originally refined in 1995 by Ken Schwaber and Jeff Sutherland from work done by Hirotaka Takuchi and Ikujiro Nonaka. Named after the Scrum in rugby, this is the most recognized agile framework. It's an iterative methodology that treats major portions of development as a controlled black box. The iterations, called sprints, are used to evolve the product which is ready to ship after each sprint. Scrum is a framework that helps teams to work together, much like a rugby team where it gets its name from. The training for the big game encourages Scrum teams to learn through experience, self organize while working on a problem, and reflect on their wins and losses to continuously improve. Scrum is not just a process which provides a series of sequence that helps team to produce a high quality product on time and within a budget. Rather, Scrum is a process framework that allows addressing complex problems to deliver products of the highest possible value. Now let us see what is Scrum Framework. Scrum is not just a process which produces a high quality product. Rather, Scrum is a framework of roles, events, and artifacts based on empirical process control that enables creation of complex products. The Scrum framework has three artifacts, three roles, and five ceremonies. Let us have a look at each of these in detail. The Scrum artifacts are designed to guarantee the transparency of key information in decision making. The three artifacts, which gained major attention post product vision and sprint vision, are product backlog, the sprint backlog, and the product increments. The product backlog is an ordered list of user requirements. It is the single source that can be referred in case of any changes needed to reflect in the product. We can say that product backlog items should relate to the same product. Second, two product backlog items shall not have the same position in the product backlog. And third, product backlog items are cascaded or conveyed in the form of user stories. Creating a product backlog is the responsibility of the product owner to ensure that the features and user stories are fleshed out or clarified and tagged with proper acceptance criteria. The product backlog grooming event is a team effort where the product owner presents the prioritized backlog and review with the Scrum team. Now, the next artifact is the sprint backlog. The sprint backlog is a subset of items of the product backlog which are selected by the team on which they are going to work during the sprint. The team establishes the duration of each sprint. The sprint backlog is created by the team members during the sprint planning meeting. This backlog contains a list of user stories or features that can be implemented during the sprint iterations. Usually, the sprint backlog is displayed on the physical board called the Scrum board that makes the development process visible to everyone who enters the development area. The third Scrum artifact is product increments. The product increment is the sum of all the tasks, use cases, user stories, product backlogs, and any element that was developed during the sprint that will be made available to the end user or the customer in the form of the software. Now let us see Scrum Rules under Scrum Framework. The product owner is the representative of the stakeholders and customers who use the software. They focus on the business part and is responsible for the return on investment of the project. Product owner translates the vision of the project to the team, validates the benefits in stories, which are then incorporated into the product backlog and prioritize them on a regular basis. The development team is a group of professionals with the necessary technical knowledge who develop the project jointly, carrying out the stories they commit to at the start of each sprint. The Scrum Master is a person who leads the team, guiding them to comply with the rules and processes. Scrum Master manages the reduction of impediments of the project and works with the product owner to maximize the return on investments. The Scrum Master is in charge of keeping Scrum up to date, providing coaching, mentoring, and training to the teams as needed. Now let us have a look at Scrum Events or Scrum Ceremonies. The sprint is the basic unit of work for the Scrum team. This is the main feature that marks the difference between the Scrum and the other models for agile development. The sprint is called the heart of Scrum. Generally, it is of a month's duration or less till the potentially shippable product increment is formed. A new sprint can be started immediately once the previous sprint ends. In the sprint planning meeting, the objective of the forthcoming sprints are defined. This meeting is held towards the start of each sprint. The product owner, Scrum Master, and the team members are part of the sprint planning meeting. The entire Scrum team must understand and define what objectives should be obtained in that sprint. The daily Scrum is also called the daily stand up meeting. The purpose of the daily Scrum is to know the answers to the three questions about: first, what I did yesterday; second, what am I doing today; and third, what are the obstacles in the assigned work. The sprint review meeting is held once post each sprint is finished. In this meeting, the team demonstrates the work they have produced or completed during the sprint. This meeting can be attended by the team members, the Scrum Master, the product owner, and the stakeholders. The sprint retrospective is the last event that wraps up the sprint cycle. It is held for the teams to share their knowledge, best practices, and lesson learned to enhance the team's interaction for upcoming sprint cycles. Apart from Scrum Artifacts, Scrum Rules, and Scrum Ceremonies, there are other important and critical factors in Scrum, like metrics and practices. For point estimation, teams are free to choose and align their work to hours per day, t shirt sizing, or story points. Next is velocity. The number of story points a team can accomplish in one sprint is called a velocity. Velocity doesn't measure the productivity of team, rather it measures team's ability to accurately estimate its work. Next, definition of done. The definition of done for any Scrum team is mainly used to assess when work is complete on the product increment. Next, the potentially shippable product. The potentially shippable product is the value delivered to the customer via the product backlog items which are completed during a sprint. The last critical factor in Scrum are tools or visual tools. Scrum tools like Jira or Active Collabs are agile project management tool that supports any agile methodology. be it Scrum, Kanban, or any other flavor. The visual tools like the burn down or burn up charts, Scrum board, or information radiators are usually used to track the progress of sprint against the sprint backlog. Scrum methodology is mainly used for software development. However, other sectors are also taking advantage of its benefits by implementing it and making it a part of their organization model with its easy and people centric values of commitment, openness, courage, respect, and focus. So, this is all for today's session. In our next session, we shall pick on another agile flavor and deep dive on it. In case you have not subscribed to our channel, request you to please subscribe to it and press a bell icon to know about our upcoming post. Thank you for watching.